Hello there students and welcome to Teach Together Try. We're going to look at multiplying and dividing by 10, 100 and 1000. So, stay tuned. And we're back. Team, the first thing you really need to be aware of when you are looking at timesing by 100 or by 1000 or dividing by 100 or dividing by 1000 is the place value chart. It will be your best friend. I've got one here for you. Here it is, the place value chart. We're just going to do a little sum. We're going to do a times by 10 sum first. And let's say we're going to do 5.8 times 10. So here's my thousands column, my hundreds column, my tens column, my units column, my decimal point, my tenths column, my hundredths column, my thousandths column, and of course I've got 5 units and 8 tenths, so that is really 5.8. And we're going to times that by 10. Now what we do when we times by 10 using place value, are you coming to help, Thomas? Are you coming to help? Do you want to be in the video? What we do when we times by 10, I think I might have to come back later, year 5, and finish this later. Do you want to watch the fire? Well, maybe later. Okay, I might just pause at year 5. I'll see you in a moment. And thank you, we are back without my little helper. Now, what we do when we times by 10 is we move this number and everything in it, the 5 and the 8, one place up the place value chart. One place up the place value chart like this. So 5.8, here it is, times 10 becomes 58. I'll say that again. 5.8 times by 10, because it's got the 1 0 there, you move everything up one place up the place value chart, so it becomes 58. I know that some naughty teachers tell you that the decimal point moves. It doesn't. The decimal point is locked in, guys. It's not allowed to move. God has fixed it. It is the numbers that shift, and they move one place up the place value chart. Okay, you'll see I've changed it now to times 100, and I wonder if you can work out what happens now. If we times it by 10, it moves one place up. Well, what if we times it by 100? Well, I'll tell you right now, because it's 100 and there's 2 zeros, we move it up 2 places. 2 places up the place value chart. So I'll do that for us now. The 5 goes 1, 2. The 8 goes 1, 2. You can bounce it up. And now you see we've got a blank spot there. And that means we have to put in a 0. And we can pop that in nice and easy. That's just called a placeholder, but it's really important that we do that. And so now it's 580 instead of 5.8. Okay, now it's times 1000. You'll notice there's 3 zeros here, isn't there? 1, 2, 3. So that means we're going to move it up the place value chart 3 times, because it's times 1000. We're going up 3 times. So let's just do that. The 5 goes 1, 2, 3. The 8 goes 1, 2, 3. And we've got to pop in those placeholders now, because you can't just have nothing in the tens and nothing in the units and a number here and a number there. So let's just pop in those placeholders, and there we go, and there we go. And of course our answer is now 5,800. Okay, now team, that's the same whatever the number is. You can say I've written a new number. I've got 45.27, and I'm still going to times it by 1000 or 10 by 100 or by 10 or by 100 or whatever. But this time we're just going to just times it by 1000 again, and because it's by 1000, it goes up 3 spaces. Whatever the number is, and whether the digits are in front of the decimal point or behind it. So for example, the 4 in this case is going to go up 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The 5 is going up 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The 2 is going up 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The 7 is going up 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then you've got to put in the zeros as those good old-fashioned placeholders, guys. So you can put in a 0 there because you've got to have a number there before the decimal point. And your answer would be 45,270. Time for you to have a go. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's your go now. I want you to times 4.8 by 10. Because it's by 10, you're going to move it up one place in the place value chart. You have a go now. Okay, and this is what you should have done. I hope you paused me. You should have moved the 4 up one place and the 8 up one place, so your answer should be 48. Here's a new number, 4.69. I want you to do this in your books because you're going to be showing the teacher, thank you. Times that by 100, and that means, of course, you're going to be moving it up 2 places in the place value chart because it's got the 2 zeros. So you do that all by yourself, thank you. Pause me and then do that in your book. Okay, what you should have done was move the 4 up twice, so the 4 goes like that, 1, 2, 6 goes 1, 2, the 9 goes 1, 2, and your answer should have been 469. Here's the last one for this section you're going to do by yourself. 0.678 times 1,000. Now, of course, there's 3 zeros there. How many times are you going to move it up? Well, I hope you can work it out yourself. So, pause me and do that now in your book. Okay, this is what you should have done. You should have moved it up 3 times or thrice. So the 0 should go 1, 2, 3. The 6 should go 1, 2, 3. The 7 should go 1, 2, 3. The 8 should go 1, 2, 3. And your answer should be 678. You just ignore that. 678. Okay, and we're back. Now we've done times, we've done multiplication. Let's have a look at that good old favourite, which we call divide by 10 or dividing by 10. Now we're going to look at what happens when you divide by 10. So here's a number, for example. Here's 5.8 again, and I wonder if you can work it out. If when we times by 10 we move up the chart one place, if we divide, which way do you think we go? If we multiply, we go up. If we divide, we go down. And because we're dividing by 10, there's the 1 0 there, we're going to go down this way one place. So 5.8 divided by 10 becomes, move the 5 once, move the 8 once, becomes 0.58, or just 0.58, or 5/10 and 800ths. You just look at it up here, you correlate it to this up here, 5/10 and 800ths. You can put a 0 here or not, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's 0 units, 5/10 and 800ths. So if we're dividing by 100, again we're going down the place value chart this time. And of course, because there's 2 zeros, we're going down twice. So you move the 8 down twice. You move the 5 down twice. Now you can't just have nothing there. You can't have no units. Or no tenths. So we better just pop in a placeholder there, and then we can just pop in 0 again. That's fine. You can't put in any number because then it gets a real value, but you can put in a 0 there. That's fine, because you don't just have nothing in the column. If you've got a 5 here and an 8 here, you've got to have something between those and the decimal point. So your answer is 0.058. 0.058, which is really saying 0/10, 500ths and 8,000ths. So if we're dividing by 1000, well guys, again we're moving down the place value chart. And how many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3. So we're moving down 3 times. So the 8 goes 1, 2, 3. The 5 goes 1, 2, 3. And then you've got to put in these zeros here as placeholders because you can't just have nothing there. And there's your answer, 0.0058, which is really 0 tenths, 0 hundredths, 5 thousandths, and this column here is 8 ten thousandths, which is getting pretty small. Time for you to have a go. Okay, so let's divide this number by 10. It's time for you to do this now. 53.6 divided by 10, you're going to move it down the place value chart. How many times? But there's only 1 0. You have a go. I hope you paused me. Here we go. This is what you should have done. 5 goes down 1 place. The 3 goes down 1 place. The 6 goes down 1 place. And that should have been your answer. Here you go, let's divide by 100. Oh no, we just did divide by 100, didn't we? Let's divide by 1000. So, how many tens are there? I mean, zeros are there, right? There's 3. So you're going to move it down the chart how many times? Well, you have a go. Okay, best to pause me and do that. Divide this by 1000, which means you're going to shift it down the chart a certain number of times. So do that now. Pause me. 3, 2, 1, and we're back. So this should be our answer now. 0 units, 7 tenths, 7 hundredths, and 7 thousandths. You don't have to put in a 0 there. That's fine because it's there's nothing between these digits and the decimal point, so that's just 0.778. Okay, I'm just going to give you a couple of questions now, just a few random ones. I know I've given you 6 already, so I think it might be good to give you at least 4 more. Here you go, here's one, 55.9. Multiply that by 1000. Have a go all by yourself. Pause me. Write it in your book because we're going to check. Thank you. Okay, this is what you should have done. You should have moved them all up thrice, 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 1, 2, 3. And you needed to put in the 0 there as placeholders because you must have something between these numbers and the decimal points. So pop in a 0 there and pop in a 0 there. And that becomes 55,900. Okay, let's have another go. I want you to divide this one by 100. I want you to divide this one by 100. Thank you. Division, so which way are you going? Alright, now pause me and have a go at that. Pause me and have a go. Alright, I hope you paused me. This is what you should have done. Because you're dividing, you're going down the place value chart, so you should have bounced them once, twice down. So your answer would have been 0, nothing there, is there? 0.6748. And I know I said we'd do 4, but I think that's probably enough. So that's 8 questions that you should have done, and your teacher will check that. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening.